Good morning, everybody. I am burying myself out. We got 40 centimeters of snow where I am. I always said I wasn't going to spend any more winters here. And then the last 2 years happened. I was actually moving in that direction and been pretty locked in. So I'm still putting that on my list that, when your dog goes out the front door and he disappears in the snow and you can't find him and he panics, yeah, it's time to go. I've had too many years in that. So if everybody loves it, but my dog loves the snow. So I'm like, how can you be my dog? I don't like the snow. We got to have some fun in it, but that is still on my list. And as we transition through this incredible year, we're going to see a lot happen, a lot. And as many of you know, this is my second last show here on Transformation Talk Radio. It's been an incredible 4 years. However, there is time to change and move on. It doesn't mean I won't come back, but it also means that there is a lot of things that I have been creating and a lot of changes, and where I need to dedicate some time into some new growth that people have been asking and been naturally happening. When you're in the spirit, that's what you do. You keep moving and transitioning. So I want to thank all of you that have been loyal listeners and everybody that tunes in, and you send your friends and your family. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. Today, I'm going to be answering your questions, so you can submit them via email. I also have some from the Telegram group that we're in. So I want to share, you can find me on Telegram, Tracy L Clark, and you can also go to my website, tracylclark.com. At the bottom of the website, you can get the Telegram link. I do a weekend review there. Usually on Sundays and Mondays, I update you what's happening, but a week kind of around the world, we do some shifts, some prayer shifts, and we have a lot of fun. So you can always find me there. You can also find me in our Miraculous Academy Insider Access group. And I want to talk about that a bit because people ask and it doesn't always equate. I'm with you actually pretty much 7 days a week, clearings, audios, clearings, video clearings. We do a week on health, a week on finances, intuition, and then a week on just bringing everything together. There's audio meditation and clearings, and then there's video. And then if you're on the private Telegram group, well, I don't know, it's all day long updates of what's going on in the world. And it's really important that we stay together. There's a big support network of people just like you there. It's nothing canned, because as we go through this year, what happens is we're going to see big changes in our financial systems, big changes as a lot of truth you guys are seeing are coming out, right? Like a lot, if you know where to look, and it's coming out more in mainstream. So that's going to rock people's worlds in our institutions, our government institutions, our medical institutions. And I talk a lot about that there because I can, and I share a lot on those videos as what is shifting, what is energetically stuck in your body, and in a way that you can integrate it and process it with other people just like you. So we never have to agree on anything. That is not what it's about. We can agree to disagree and love each other, but it's a platform to learn. And one of the things that, if you want to make it through this year with all the transitions, big ones, and they can be kind of scary, is you have to be willing to learn something different. So a lot of people tell me, well, I don't understand finances, and they just push it away. Well, if you're not willing to put 10 or 20% extra work into that, or 10 to 20% minimum extra work into your personal growth, your connection to spirit, like all of these areas, a new career, you're not going to evolve and change. And I learned this myself. I had to go through this. I had all these beliefs and perceptions, but my life wasn't going in the way that I wanted. And that's what I really focus on in the Miraculous Academy, is how can we keep pushing these boundaries to create the change? Because you can feel afraid if you don't understand finances, or you don't understand how to connect with spirit. I do my work every day, just like I do with you guys. It's extremely important. And this year will be a difficult year on a lot of levels, but it will be a glorious year as we head into 23 and 24 and 25. So we're moving in a lot more directions to be able to help you, grow, and to really stay very strong and very centered and very grounded and very neutral into your energy when you're coming against adversity. And that's what's really important, is we don't want you to feel that you've done something you shouldn't do or whatever. As long as you feel comfortable, it's okay. It doesn't mean people have to agree with what you're doing. When I started this work, and it's now like 19 years, I guess, nobody agreed with what I was doing. but I also knew I had to make a change and it was uncomfortable. And people were like, why would you do that? That's crazy. Well, I needed to do it because the other systems weren't working. And I realized I woke up way back then and started doing my own work, which I do still each and every day today. You probably noticed your dreams are a little crazy right now. Um, because I could be prepared to help so many souls go through this transition. Having your foundations of everything stabilized, then you can help other people. And we're going to have more and more and more of that energy come forth. So it's extremely important. A few things. So Telegram, the Miraculous Academy, if you want to learn how to connect to your body, there's the Body Regeneration 3. You can learn module 1 and 2 online at your own pace. And number 3 is all about how the organs connect to each other. So a lot of people don't know that your gallbladder, your pancreas, your liver, they're actually pretty good friends, and how that tethers to your system on your heart. And then we're going to also teach you how you can connect those a little bit differently and talk to your body differently. And then we're going to be talking about curses, witchcraft, spells, black magic, and everything we discuss in these 4 weeks. You have an unlimited lifetime replay. They're 90 minutes each week, but we're going to remove curses, witchcraft, spells, black magic, teach you how to do it in your own life, and then start to break that energy off, which is really, really important because this year there's a lot of that. There's a lot of mental manipulation and mind issues that are going to be released from people where they're going to go, uh-oh, whoa, I believe that. And that wasn't true, because when there's a lot of like hypnosis kind of energy going on in the world. So a lot of that's going to come off as well. So you can find me there. And again, Telegram, we have a March 2nd event, which is 2 hours replay. And so we've got a lot of things going on to help you sustain this year, however it works for you. There's no, whatever works for you. And then I had a lot of people ask me again recently. So I'm just giving you a recap because I'm not going to see you on this format for a while. Is if you want to understand my story, there's God, Where Are You? It's Me on Amazon. This is my story. And there's some little simple tips in there for people that are new to waking up. And even if you had, you can see how much you can change and you can move through and do all that good stuff in your own life and make those changes. And then we have the 31 days of prayer and 31 days of prayer and affirmation on Amazon. And the thing I love about these books is the first one is to help you learn how to connect with your words to the God of your understanding. And the second one is actually embedded with another level of communication. So everything in these books is channeled. There is nothing scripted. They were all channeled. And then obviously my editor just cleaned them up a little bit. But what they do is if you listen and repeat the prayer, and a lot of people are like, wow, I got a grounding, I got a shift, because they're done in a way to help your body pick up the energy to release. So there's ones for finances, there's ones for health, there's one for world prayer. We do that one on the Telegram every night at 9 o'clock together. So there's a lot of incredible ways that you can pick up the language. And we have a lot of cool things we're also launching for you guys this year to help you with tools. These are tools. I keep them in my toolbox every day. People say they'll just open to one. So if I open to one, this one's a prayer for miracles to abound in my life. And there's some of the little pictures in there. So you get the pictures, you get the prayer, and then you get the affirmation. So tools, we need a lot of tools to go through this year. If we don't have a lot of tools, we can be in a lot of problems because it's going to be a little scary, right? When we're changing everything, but we're going to be okay. So a lot of stuff is going to come out. And for me, the goal is to make sure, how can we have as many tools that you can use on your own? Like, not to be reliant on anyone. I've never, people always ask that question, who's your guru? And I would frustrate them. I'm like, I've never had one. What do you mean you've never had one? I said, I don't have one. I just connect to the God of my understanding and be the best human I can be. And that's how you should be. You should just connect into the God of your understanding and just be a good human and keep learning and keep growing. And that's what I do. We had in our Miraculous Academy, we have a monthly call and we do these soul seats. We do them in our weekend events too, which is in February, where I bring an actual person down and we're live and we're all shifting their issues up. And then we also shift, everybody gets a shift. They love them. People love these soul seats. And one of our beautiful members, she was talking about fear and she says, I seem to have all this fear. And it was interesting because as we shifted it, we saw that most of the fear was not I said, this fear isn't yours. You're just taking it on for other people. I said, if you had real fear, you wouldn't have held the line of what was important to you over the last 2 years. And her light bulb went on. And this was so important and so profound, because how many times do you say you have fear, but you don't? You could have a whole bunch of accumulation of energy of somebody else in you. And she's like, wow, because you do not stand your ground and don't cave in something that's important to you for 2 years if you have fear. So think about that. And I want to thank that hand of God of strengthening that, because that's not fear. So see how we can create stories and thought forms, and that's not fear. But we think it is. And then that goes out into the world. And we got to really start pulling those down as more and more truth of the world comes out. It's really important for how you navigate and show up in the new earth, because you got to show up differently. We cannot function and show up how we used to. So very important. And the other soul sleep that we had, I want to share, it was really cool. Spirit's always listening. Is at our weekend event in October, the Christ consciousness sort of went in and pushed me over. I'd never had that before. Like I channel, I hear, see, feel, but for that energy to come in the body and move. And then after that, everything in my life went upside down and changed in a very miraculous, good way. So it had happened one time after that. I was working with a client, and then I was like, and it hadn't really come in that way again. So I'd said to Spirit, I would love for you to do more of that, which meant I had to be more vulnerable and okay with that in larger settings. And because you're not coherent, you don't know what's going on. When you come out, they say, what did you? I said, I don't know. I have to listen to it myself. So she had asked for a clear message from the Christ consciousness a couple of days prior. So we put this together after the call. And it was really sweet, because all of a sudden the Christ consciousness came in, pushed me over, and had a message for her while she was in her soul seat. And afterwards, she reached out and said, I had asked for that. And I said, I had asked for more of that as well, in different ways. Like we both had different reasons. She needed the message. What was the message she asked for was perfect. And I asked to be more of the conduit. And so, sometimes you ask for things and they show up. And it really did, again, transformation for everybody who was listening and got to rewatch the replays. And they're there forever. I think there's like 700 and some videos in there, and gifts and clearings, like lots of stuff. But you can see how we've all evolved. And this is what's so cool, is when you're in that present time and everything is channeled, then you're getting exactly what you require. And this is what I love so much, is that Spirit's really listening to what we're asking for. Spirit is hearing everything you're saying. So come with it with clear intentions and really be ready this year to maneuver around. I know over the Christmas holidays, many people had messaged me in pain that people and family members have chose to ostracize them for things you can imagine. And it's really sad that that much fear has come in, when the reality and the truth's going to come out. They're going to come to I call it their come to Jesus moment, in a way where they're going to have to reconcile with how they've treated you. They really have. And they're not going to understand. So you've heard me say this. I did a YouTube video on this, but basically there's going to be 3 reactions that are going to come out of people this year. One, so I say, look at it like you married the love of your life. This is forever, the love of your life. And all of a sudden, when you wake up and you find out that every day they've been cheating on you, devastated, right? So there's usually 3 reactions that people have. They pack everything they got up, they see you done, go away, and they have to work through the pain and the trauma and the suffering. It's just over, no discussion. The other one is they try to work it through. They try to reconcile it. They try to understand. They try to go like what? And either it breaks, or again, it usually falls apart. 95% of people I've seen this, it does fall apart. The third reaction is they put their head in the sand, la, 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 not happening to me, not going to hear it, right? So they go into full on denial so they can keep their perfect bubble and world of information solid. Humans do this in a lot of different areas. And so this energy is definitely going to be coming out this year. So you need to know how to help those people around you like this, and when to walk away. So, we were listening at Christmas to the Kenny Rogers, the Gambler song, right? Like, you got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away. You really do. And if you can learn when to walk away and learn when to leave a situation, they will come back if meant to be. but keep moving forward. The key this year is going to be to keep moving forward, especially in the financial systems. We've talked a lot about this. I am 24/7 over there in the Miraculous Academy, keeping people posted, because we're going to have to walk through this together. What's it going to look like? Going to take all of this year and all of next year, all the next year, like how long, how fast, how quick, like who knows, right? We're all going to have to learn new ways, and that can be a little scary. So we'll keep navigating. A lot of people ask me about that new way that you hear people talk about. I don't see it happening. That's just me. I have many issues as to why. So you can learn more about that if you're even on my Telegram or any of that. So I won't get into that today, but I just don't see it happening. So we're going to create together, and we're going to have a lot of fun together. So I do, speaking of Telegram, and it's an open group, so you can invite your friends and family. I do have some of the questions on Telegram as well that I will read out, that I said for people to put there. And it is a great place where you can share, so you don't have to feel alone. And there is a private one if you're in the Evolutionary or the Miraculous Academy. I have a very bad screen glare, so I am going to try to do the best I can here. I might have to become my school teacher to read, because I have a light in front of me, and then obviously I have a glare. So some days I do okay, guys, and some days I don't. We're real time. We're just channeling. So let's see. Now, when I read these questions and when we go through them and we shift them together, maybe if I move my up here a little bit and we go through them together, is what I want you to do is actually, or I'll turn my brightness up. That helped. What you need to do is tune in and hold the intention. Just tap your heart, and you just say, like, miracles flow to me with ease and grace. If you're with me, you know this is a great saying. I receive miracles each and every day. I'm open to receiving miracles on new levels. Thank you, God. You got to give thanks to the higher power. You can also, the Christ consciousness flows within me and through me, and I'm receiving more. The Christ consciousness flows within me and through me, I'm receiving more. I am open to receiving more of the Christ consciousness energy within me and through me. Thank you, God. Your energy of love. You're bringing this higher vibration of love and releasing, so your body can recalibrate. Okay, so what you do is you hold that. And what is the intention of something you'd like to bring in your life, something you'd like shifted? And if you can hold that, if there is a block or a resistance while I'm working with somebody's question here, it'll start to move off you as well. So it's quite a beautiful way. And it's a beautiful energy's energy. This is what I love about it, is that, you know, sometimes I don't even talk to people. They send in and need it now, and I just send them an email back and a little response, and they're like, whoa, thank you. How did you know? Because that's what I do. You can tap in wherever. That's the beauty about energy work, is you can tap into wherever they are, you can shift it and move very, very quickly. So I always say to people, just, I'm mindful, because we don't want you driving, and be mindful if you're listening to shows like this and you're driving, for sure. So this is from Laura. Hi, Tracy. You're an incredible, beautiful, authentic, huge heart soul. Oh, that's so sweet. I just receive all of that. I'm going through tower moments, like in a tarot deck. We talk a lot about that. When the tower comes down, there's a card in the tarot deck where there's this tower, and that's what's happening right now. It means a destruction of the old and a death and an ending to rebirth something new. Boundaries in my home, because 2022 is going to be my year. Could we have the extra strength and support to go through this? Yes. Now, what is happening right here is, you can see as your energy is shifting and creating boundaries. So people are not going to be allowed to stay. You're very giving, and you're very, I want to say this in the right words. You're very kind to a fault. Now, people could say to me, kind to a fault. So we can be so kind to a fault and so giving to a fault that it actually works against us rather than for us. So I'm going to remove some of this pattern. So if we have, for example, it's a very good thing. So if you have children that live with you, they should be contributing emotionally and financially if they're out of school, even if it's a couple $100 or $100, right? Get a job. Doesn't matter if it's, you know, at the fast food restaurant or the gas station or whatever, they need to contribute. So it's about putting out. So what you're doing is, I'm going to start to remove where you're generous to a fault. I'm going to remove panic energy. We're going to reset everything to start to come back into alignment, back into your flow, your business, your work. And there looks to be boundaries that need to be set up. So where are you putting that money, and how are they contributing back? And how are you ready to now step into more of your power for your business? So what's happening is, you've already announced, you can see that you're letting go of an old way of working. Now, it's interesting because that system you're in, there appears to be a new one birthing that your talents are better used over here as well. And I mean, your talents are better used. So from the old institution of school, what's happening here is you're getting ready, got chills, to move into the new, like all these new groups that are being formed to teach children outside of the old way into the new way, and how your skills, both energetically and knowledge of helping these students, moves into this other area. And that can feel a little scary because it's birthing new, but there's better pay and there's also better camaraderie, like better people. They speak your language. They want to hear what you have to hear. I got goosebumps from head to toe. And then you get to bring, because you're very gifted, they're starting to bring in your energy work as well. So that will also be used. And I still see you with a lot of children, working with a lot of children. So the old world to the new world. So you're in this little gap, but you're exactly right. I'll shift this energy here. You're exactly right that you're anybody in your home must be in full alignment to your 2022. And that's where there's a last of the test. You're 95% there. You'll reset it, no wavering, and then things are going to start to move very differently very soon. Okay. So you can see that there's some really cool gifts coming through. And they always show when people get gifts. I had this happen to one of my clients last week, and I love it. It doesn't show up all the time, but these big, they're like boxes of presents with big bows. When I see that, the person always receives a blessing of some sort that is up to them in spirit for the work they've done. So I'm going to adjust that for you. So I keep hearing you are on that brink of a miracle. Now you got to look. So now I would actually connect with these organizations that have, this stuff moving on. So for example, in our Miraculous Academy, we have a woman that's very connected into starting these new pods of learning and ways of being and outside the old system. So we can connect you with her, for example. Okay. Works really well. Okay, Michael from out west. Hopefully you're not as freezing. I know it's been like minus 42 out there for a while. Why do we live in this cold country? Well, that's why I said I wasn't going to be here in the winter, but Spirit had a different plan. Hi, Tracy. I'd like to ask how I can tap more into the supernatural signs and wonders. I believe in them, but sometimes I feel like I believe more that they can happen. That's the answer right there. When we start to believe that they're not going to happen, that's where it doesn't. So one of the things I say to people to stimulate is even watching like good movies that have a lot of the supernatural abilities, like Doctor Strange, stuff like that, pulling that in. And the reason you don't believe that it can happen is there is a divine timing happening right now, because people haven't used these gifts out in public for thousands of years. They used to be used before. It was common to walk down the street and use energy to move stuff around, but it got suppressed by the powers to be. So that suppression energies start to coming off. So if you go into, I don't believe more than believe. So you're going to reverse the perception. Thank you, God. Strengthen the field to, I believe I'm going to receive that. I believe I'm going to receive that. I just did a video on that. I'm going to put it up. I think it's going up on my TikTok. Yeah, I'm learning TikTok, guys. You know me in social media. I have someone that helps me, so they can sometimes get a little behind. Social media and I'm learning to be friends, but I still have that space that I need and require help. Why? Because it doesn't bring me the full joy, but it is how we connect with people, right? So I love doing the videos and I let somebody else take care of putting them up. I said, learning TikTok, but it's about that. If we don't believe, you don't receive it, and you've got to start to move. So thank you, God. Reverse the perception, override, and strengthen the body to be strong to believe it. Now, when you're surrounded or live with people that don't believe in that supernatural world evolving and unfolding, that can also become more of you thinking you don't believe. So you want to unplug from that and give their energy back. And what is the fear if you start walking more in your supernatural gifts? What is the fear? Because that fear would be stand out. So a lot of times we want to make sure that we look and go really deep within, and we'll do this adjustment around like the space where it's not about ego, but it's about understanding, are you in check? Are you in check? So, supernatural power in the wrong places is a dangerous thing. Think about this. It really is. So humanity with supernatural power right now, most people, it would be a very dangerous thing. You have to be able to be out of the ego, be nice and strong, and really only use those supernatural powers into the gift. It's a very, very dangerous thing. And people say, oh, well, how can it be? Because it can be, because it's like, if it's not controlled and it's not used for the good of humanity. So think about that, guys. In truth, can you 100% say you would only use it for love, in truth, for the goodness of humanity? Something to think about, food for thought. All right, Debbie, thank you for all you do. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, can I confirm? I did have a big purge the last few days. I do feel better today. My heart is opening. No, it is actually starting to open. You did do a really big purge. um it's really interesting. The left ear is fine tuning. You did a big so there is a connection between what you hear and how you hear it in the left ear to the heart center that you're opening. So there's a lot of energy there that is actually opening quite nicely. So we'll just keep expanding that for you. Well done, well done. There's another big purge to come, so enjoy it. And that's going to set you on a new path. All right, Louise. Hi, Tracy. Happy New Year to you and to you too. I've been experiencing many structural issues from my neck, shoulders, hip, and no immense low back pain from shoveling. Oh yeah, now immense back pain. Yeah, shoveling. I get it. When you got like 4 feet of snow, right? I also haven't been sleeping due to these issues. I realize I've never felt supported in my life, or my parents not allowing support with the God of your understanding. I journaled out my feelings in order to bring in new consciousness mind. I would love a further shift and boost into my body and being for more healing and letting go. Yeah, so this is actually really good. What's happening here? So we can move to the new belief system. We can cut off some of the cords to the old ones. Yeah, and thank you again. I know you'll miss the show, but there's new stuff coming, guys. Just trust. There's new stuff. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Okay, a lot of fun. And you'll probably go, oh, that was more fun. I don't know. We get Spirit's got lots of good stuff on the planet all the time. All right. So let's just adjust. So there is a lot of inflammation coming up in the body. Now, you'll probably see where the trigger, it says it's removing an accumulation of old rage. Now, and it looks very old, like some past lives, some probably looks like about teenage years. Now, rage, guys, doesn't mean like you're running around like a raging lunatic. That's not what I'm saying. But parts of where also the body was boiling because it couldn't, fully speak and say, and support could be a big one. So it boils inside and a borderline. So we have anger and we deal it as anger, but there's another level of rage. It's like, come on. And sometimes we're not even aware. So we're going to start to remove. This is where the inflammation is. And there's something to do with your sleeping, like how you're sleeping. We're just going to adjust. So let me actually do down the central nervous system. I'm going to go through and just do some energetic little adjustments. Sometimes we call it like the chiropractic crack. I won't go into that, but it's just like how we do a little crack. So we'll say the osteopath correction. So we're just going to move that through the central nervous system, and we're going to command the nerve endings and the inflammation to start to move down. So I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm going to increase your B complex. We're going to increase how your body makes that, creates that, and takes that in. Thank you, God. And I'm just going to unhook the rest of this little rage factor there. And then, yes, for shoveling the muscles, ligaments, tendons, joints, let's command them a little bit more ease and grace, because that's pretty hard. And now the sleeping, it's partly with body and how the body's positioning is. So you can maybe move some pillows around with your leg and just kind of just move that as the body's letting go. But there's also some things to do with your sleep pattern of how much is changing that is coming, which is keeping the body a little bit more on edge. So I'm just going to ask the body at night to reset your sleep center. And everybody might like this. It doesn't have to be on edge. There's still a lot of safety to what is unfolding, even though, so it's afraid to fully fall asleep, but it's pointing to the physical issue versus what's going on in the energetic world. Now, also remember, guys, your energetic shifts are going to be probably the most intense you've ever had this year. So your body will react quite drastically. Okay. Hi, Chriselle. Okay. All the way over to Dubai. Thank you for your clearing me and my loss. You're welcome. I'd like to ask if God, Christ consciousness, or my guides have any messages for me. Yeah, actually, the strongest one is starting to put your intention into using your gifts. So really using them, like finding the creative way. And I saw this the other day with you, is finding the creative way to use your talents and start to look at that as like letting people know that this is what you offer and what your talents are. And sometimes you can see like, well, I don't know what that is. You do know. you do know in the gifts and you know what you're good at. You used to channel a lot of information. I want to open that information up even more for you. So the fear and the loss, as you were getting ready to expand more into that energy and more into making it part of your like daily sort of work, that's where a lot more of this, if you look in your family, started to collapse. It was like, no, you're going to get distracted over here with the job losses and what's gone on in the pandemic and all this other stuff, right? It's like, oh, we're going to get really caught up over here, which took the attention off you building here. So now we got to shift it and start to open up even 10% a week, even 1 hour a week into you actually looking at how you can really start to use these skills and open them up into the actual world. And then there's another shift there. So I'm going to start to adjust that for you as well. Okay. Beautiful. All right, Veronica, good morning. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you guys. My 1-year-old nephew, can't read. My 1-year-old nephew recently had a fall and had a mild concussion. Oh, we can reverse that very quickly. I had been observing that he often accidentally hits his head. So I was not surprised about this experience. What's at play here? Yes. Okay. Is he manifesting? So when we've seen a lot of people with concussions and just like where they're falling down like this, or maybe they're out drinking too much and they fall down. I see a lot with teenagers and they have 10, 12, right? And it whacks the brain back. So usually when the brain's getting whacked over and over and over again like this, and we can start to reverse the trauma and command the skull to kind of reset its position. Usually there's something within the environment that they're like, literally they're knocking their head, like they don't want to take in that sort of information. And so they use it as a way to sort of check out. So when we keep getting concussions energetically, that is part of the way that we use to sort of check out of that situation, not have to deal with what's going on in the environment. Children are extremely intuitive. They're extremely vulnerable. They're so loving and kind. So it looks like the concussions are linked to some things with the parents that can be actually adjusted. So you look to see to know what that, you kind of know what that is. So I'm going to ask that we just send them what they require and strengthen him in his sensory system, that he doesn't have to use that pattern to continue anymore, that we can kind of maneuver the situation slightly different. It's still loving, it's still kind, it's, stuff like that. And then also there's some compensating a little bit for his mom. So trying to take some things off his mom. Very protective of mom. So it's cute there. Very, very protective, but almost taking too much energy off of her to want to process as well. So we can just remind him that mom will be okay doing her stuff. So there's a very big kind of protection energy he's coming with. Looks like he's protected her before in a past lifetime. So he kind of gets creative ways. So he came in as a child this time, but it looks like before, more like, I want to call him like a bodyguard or something. He just had this beautiful protection energy. It's actually quite lovely. You just have to learn how to work with it. So reminding him that I'm okay, I got this. You just be a kid. You go play, you be a kid. But remember, very intuitive children are going to keep stepping in anyways, is what they do. So it's quite cute. All right, Vass, hello. You're so welcome, for love and appreciation. I'm having a lot of issues and to have more of God breakthroughs in my outstanding issues. Yeah. So we want to look at where your breakthroughs are. I want to reverse the perception. So she wants more of that understanding to release the old issues going into the new. So look at the new issues that are good, like the new things coming in, and we're going to use that energy to override and release the old. Allow the strength for family to feel what they need to figure out, and you to be strong in your boundaries of holding your support. So the rest of them can deal with what they need to. It looks like your whole system, because you are very kind and giving and thoughtful again of others, it took on too much of that energy. And so your body also is processing too much of them. So remember, guys, we want to allow others to process what they need to process. And that's loving. It's not loving. It's very loving. So bring that energy in and let's reevaluate. I'm going to readjust it for you, reevaluate it for you. Probably need to reevaluate how some of that is and say, they can handle that. I'm going to let them, I'm going to give them love. Thank you, God. I'm going to let them do what they need to. Thank you, God. And I'm not going to consent anymore to what no longer serves me. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay. There we go. So Sadat. Oh, yes. My soul feels like it's stuck in a moment that has been going on since 2020. Yes, with all of this stuff that's unfolded in the last couple of years, it's been really hard for a lot of people. They've ripped all away a lot of livelihoods and a lot of new ways of being, for sure. It's surreal as people around me are moving to high places, but me and my wife are just not able to get out of the moment. From moving to a better job for income or having our house depreciate while others around us appreciate. Okay, so let's remove this sinking energy and let's open up to not always holding on to what we have, but we need to shift the perception to open up to what is coming. It doesn't mean that it's not frustrating. This kind of looks like, you know, we all go through these periods, and some people go through them later in life, some people midlife, some people early life. I went through these periods in early life, and it seemed like a struggle, and the struggle was never going to end. And then when I learned to shift out of the struggle and say, okay, I don't need what was old, I need to create something new. So when we release the old and we move into the new, and it's a harder one because we want the old to get our stability back. And so we have to let go of what the old is, let go of what the old job even was, and say, okay, if it comes, I'm open to receiving it. And we start to create even more. So there is, and there's a different energy, and I know I did a pull on it, but some of it's still kind of grasping. So I'm going to just command that it actually gets off your family's lineage and your line and you. It's a very, it's toxic. I can smell it, but it's like you're the strongest one to process it for the family as well. That's new, actually. It came out of something else we cleared. So it's ready to go. Basically, there's an energy that needs to be released off the family when it comes to wealth, and you were the strongest one to clear it. So it came to you. But I think we need to now just, I'm going to cut it off. We're going to cut the cords and we're going to strengthen to the new space and new opportunities, because there's a lot of new things that are happening. So say, I want to take what that is, even though my life doesn't look like that right now. It's on the verge. It's coming to move to look like that and to reset up what you are ready. Your foundation's actually looks your foundation looks stronger than it ever has, which is positive, meaning as we rebuild, things aren't going to go there, but other people you see will go there. So you kind of did it ahead of a lot of people you've seen. So now you'll rebuild and they'll go through stuff that you've gone through. Now, we never wish that on anybody, but you can just see different levels of foundation. So some of this is an illusion. We want to break that illusion and get you set up into these different opportunities and open all that will come to you. So I'll do that adjustment. Mila, thank you for being amazing. You're welcome. And all your gifts. You're welcome. Can I get an alignment to start getting things done? I feel I've been wasting time. Yeah, it's an awful feeling, but I continue to do it and then get frustrated. So that's very normal, right? Where a lot of people will feel like they're not getting a lot done right now, partly to do with the weather, partly to do with a little bit of hibernation energy, and partly to do with what's going on in the world. Now, as more energy comes in to show us the shifts and the changes, you're going to see there's going to be more motivation. So I'm going to adjust the motivation. The motivation is doing things you love. So even if you set that clock, that boundary for yourself that says, okay, I get up at this time and I get moving. A lot of people do the lingering thing and then the day is gone and they've let things by. Usually when there's lingering, there's a level of energy in the body that doesn't want to face things of the day. So we want to remove that. For you, it's kind of your work area and you're done with the nonsense. You're done with the pressure. You're done with people sort of, spewing stuff, different. So part of that just kind of keeps you, we're like, okay, I'm not motivated, don't want to go, but it's all going to shift. So we'll do an adjustment there for you as well. Okay. Good. Thank you. All right. So Deborah, so your eye doctor has recommended that you have laser surgery to help bring down the eye pressure in both eyes, possible glaucoma. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say a few things here. If you saw my show last week with, Ken, the scientist from C60, he had actually was developing macular degeneration. And you can, if you're, depending on where you are, he started, so it's part of the way he developed the C60. I do take it too. We have a coupon code. It's Tracy L Clark. And there's also links that are in all my YouTube channels. And we partnered with them because he started taking this and his macular degeneration went away. They just were doing it for self. Now it's a business, right? The doctors were surprised. So there's two things I see going on here. There's a lot of things that it does help. So that can help too. You got to also understand the energy work. We've had people who've had deteriorating eyes. They've done the energy work. And then they're like, whoa, the eye doctors are like, what the heck? Like it's repaired, right? So, and they always say you can't repair eyesight. That's what is always told. I don't believe it. I think for a lot of people it's difficult. If you do understand things you can use, I tend to go that way first. If you have to go laser, we can adjust. When our eyes so start to go down, when they start to deteriorate, there's a few things, and we can start to move the energy that happens. One is there's a collective field that, you know, when you're 40, you're going to start wearing glasses, and when you're 50, you're going to have all these issues, and when you're 60, like, you know, there's a lot of energy tied to how they deem your eyesight to deteriorate, just like your body's supposed to deteriorate. Well, it's not. It's a lie. It's a lie. You should be able to have your clear 20/20 vision, and stress will also contribute to that. And the eyes also go down when there's things you've seen too much of. You're tired of seeing certain things. So the left eye actually brings in energy that is all about internal. So when your left eye goes, it's about internal things going on that need to be developed, need to be looked at, and need to be released. When the right eye starts to go, it's about things outside, things you're seeing every day, things that are going on. And then it's hard to process. You're like, close my eyes, wake me up when it's over. I don't want to see it anymore. And it can come on many levels that you don't even realize that you've been seeing repetitively over and over. So I can start to adjust those on a base level. That's what that's about. So we can start to adjust that, and we can start to shift that so the body can become very, very, very strong, and start to make the adjustments into the right and the left eye. So you have to have a balance in the eyes of what's inside you and what's external. So what's internal and external, and how you process it. And then rewiring of the nerve system, removing the belief system that our eyes have to have multiple issues. So there was a little bit of damage, it looks like, that had been caused to when you were younger. So we'll start to move some of that out as well and reset that. Okay. Thank you, God. All right. I'm feeling, Sherry, I'm feeling like maybe I should give the marriage another chance, with me opening up to loving and being loved. I'm working on that from childhood. Is it time for me, or easy way out, or is it a good idea? If you're feeling it, it actually, I'll tell you guys, when you feel this, I always call it one more kick at the can. Not a bad idea. You know, open and see where you are. And then, you know what, you can, and I did this too in my marriage, but I'll have to tell you, I'm really glad I did, because when I chose to end up leaving, obviously in the end, but I had not, it was clean. I had nothing of, should I done that or should I did this? No, I did that. I tried it. Okay, good. Didn't work. I'm completely clean. I'm done. So let's move the energy for one more expansion and just readjustment for you. Okay, so let's do that. Now, I do want to answer this Telegram ones that we had here. So, Sophie, good morning. And Tracy, in the last few months, I made a conscious decision to change my mindset. Oh, we got that one. Okay, good. I think that, did she submit that? Oh, no, this is different. Letting go to no longer serve me. Very proud of that. My dreams have been strange. Yes. So your dreams can be very strange right now, and your energy will feel low. It's a period we're going through as we're getting ready to, for a lot of things to shift in a global level, actually, is what that is. So we can adjust. I feel the pressure to do everything now. And another part of me is scared and sad. It feels like the older version of myself is trying to keep me in the past, but I refuse to step back. Excellent. You got to acknowledge it so we can shift you forward. Any advice to help me overcome this moment so I can stay on the right path? Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things here we can shift is to, you just got to keep, I always say it's like eye on the prize. So we want to keep focus on the eye on the prize, right? So what we want to do is we want to really keep nice and strong on that moving forward. Recognize when the old comes up, I'm not consenting to you anymore. Thank you for being part of my life. Reset, let go. Use the one simple tool. It's on the YouTube, reset, let go. And so you can move your body as well. So if you move your body to the left, you can say, thank you. I acknowledge you for being part of my life. Shift your body to the right and say, I'm bringing in, I'm commanding more of this new energy to come in. I'm strengthening my body to bring in more of this new energy. And that's going to keep you. So the left, just thank you. I'm receiving you, but thank you so much for being part of my world. Now I'm moving to the right. Physically move the body and command the new energy. It will help a lot. You will be like, wow, you'll notice a big difference. Big difference. Chris, please shift, give me courage of who I am spiritually, trust, know, and believe. Yeah, we can strengthen that, because we want to start to, there's going to be more of that where you want to trust in yourself so you can expand more into the new earth. So we can remove misinformation and misinterpreted information where you started to not trust who you are. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Okay, so let's move all of this through. Melissa, Oh, they were just looking. Okay, so thank you, God. Did we get everybody? Let me see. There was a few here. Oh, Ellen, please shift whatever is keeping me isolated. It takes effort to go for a walk around the block. Too much body pain. I require a boost in my life force energy. Yes, so we'll actually start to move the life force energy. Again, it is okay. Let me explain this for everybody that's having this. I think I have a few minutes here, so this will have to be my last question. Um, if you have some others, you can put them on the Telegram. So there's, it feels for a lot of people they're going through this. It is the heaviness of the winter, but you have to understand, how can I describe it the best? It's like a boiling pot. The lid is going boop, 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 boop. And so you're waiting for the change, you're waiting for the shift, and then the lid blows off, right? So you can see there's all this stuff between now and the end of February that's just going to start bubbling over. Like your bodies can feel it. So the bodies are almost like, okay, I'm just going to get a little bit more rest, a little bit more rest. But there's a lot of energy in that, is literally put my head under the covers and wake me up at the end of 2022 when a lot of this shit has hit the fan and we can just kind of move through it, right? Then I'll deal with it. So that's the energy we want to get out of. We want to get strong in the, oh, look what's unfolding on the planet. I'm part of it. I'm here. I'm going to celebrate it. Even though there's a lot of chaos that's going to be coming out, get into the strength of why you're here. If you're listening to this show, you're part of the solution. You're part of the solution. So you're meant to be here, to be part of the solution, which means the world needs you out there. Even if you walk into a grocery store and you're just like, okay, I'm going to get my energy out there. You walk around the block, get outside, get moving, get shifting, because the empaths right now are taking on too much life force energy of other people. And so there's so much of that fear, but the fear is going to start to unravel. Well, for some people, it'll unravel and they'll come over and we'll have more strength and we'll get more support. So you're going to see all this energy. So what we want to do is strengthen the kidneys and the adrenals to increase your life force energy so you can be very strong in your environment. So a lot of times we don't want out of our environment. They can say there's that level of, that depression that comes through, which is holding on to things of the past that also need to be let go of. And so you can see why so many people have been very depressed and very anxious because they're afraid of what's unfolding in their future. And it's scary from what they're seeing and what they're seeing with their natural eyes. They don't understand what you and I do, that it's just dismantling because the mainstream is not helping them in that. And depression is really a lot of energy, letting go of the past, the hurts, the trauma, but the body has a hard time letting it go. And then, so when we see the world changing, right, everybody wants the old normal. It's never going to happen. It's done. That time is done. So you want to thank you, God, get it through your head, over, done. There's no normal coming back. We're reinventing who we are as humans, right? We're reinventing to try to go to more better. Because let's face it, humans are pretty mean to each other for a lot of things. We've been mean to people around money, around relationships, around how you think it should be, around work. Like, look at how mean people can be. Now, there's another flip side to that, where a lot of us work every day to be in the kindness and really make sure that our environments reflect. When you come into my home, I had I had somebody say to me, and this is funny, people used to come into my home and they would revisit and they'd want to fall asleep. And when you'd come into my home, it's a place of restoration, regeneration, recreation, peace, calm. Like, I live like this in my home. If you don't want to have that in your mind, you're not welcome in my home. So I get everybody has a bad day and there's moments, but I live what I speak. And so you must come into alignment with what you want. So if you want more peace and more love, we have to start to open that up more and be that and get out there in the face of what is adversity. And we have to be able to spread that and really, put that out there, because it's crazy when you look into history. Like, look at all the wars, look at what people like these elites have done by, you're going to go kill someone you don't know because some man behind a desk tells you some fictitious story that you think is, oh, I'm saving my country. No, it's all manipulation. It was all manipulation. People aren't meant to go kill each other. They're not meant to do that. And, so we've been in a silent war the last 2 years, and that's all comes through. We have. And I really want you to understand, guys, if you're here, you're the light. So get yourself, even if it's 5 minutes out, I can strengthen the system and command as you're walking. I'm bringing in that breath. I'm bringing in that life force energy so you can be nice and strong and in alignment to the new. You guys are amazing. There is a big part of me that's going to miss you guys every week, but I know we've got something better coming. And I know next week being our last show together, I hope you will join me, invite your friends and your family. You'll keep remembering how amazing you are. You will come join me either in the Miraculous Academy or on the Telegram. There's a Miraculous Academy Telegram, but there's also the free Telegram, Tracy L Clark. You can find it there. Like I said, we do the weekly wrap ups. I let you know what's coming, how we can support you, but then also all the other things that are happening. And I hope you'll check out the prayer books. They're really good ways to stay in touch with who you are. If you haven't really known my story, then you can check out God, Where Are You? It's Me. It's an easy read with fun stuff, but so important. If you want C60, if you're in Canada, you can call them and tell them you're in our community, the Tracy L Clark community. They'll give you better shipping options, better things that way. They're working on that right now. I only suggest things too. If you're in my community and all the things I suggest, and we're creating new stuff for you, only things that I will actually personally put in my body. So I've tried these things before and I personally put it in. The reason I am so in alignment right now with, your quercetin and your NAC and your C60 and things like that, check with your healthcare provider. I'm not giving you that space, but I'll tell you what I saw was that I've been saying this, like your vitamin D and your C. And I always say it in September because energetically, if you're not in the right climate, your temperatures drop. So you can watch that video that I did with Ken. I think it's up on the YouTube, or it'll be up this week, that we did last week on the radio show. And one of the things I saw very clearly was, and I expressed this in the community, we have to keep our health very strong. Well, I kept seeing, usually it's like through the winter. And I saw recently I have to stay on all of my D and my quercetin and my zinc and all those good things in the C60 for the whole year. It's going to help to stabilize the system while we're moving through our energy. It's opened up my skills even more. It's cleaned out, because it's like an SOS pad. It cleans out the junk. But we're not done with some of these last pushes. I've said many times that I've seen a lot of things that people got. Looks like it's sprayed in the air. So I don't know. I've seen this. I've stated this for a long time. There's weirdness going on all over. People will see. But you got to keep your body nice and healthy and nice and strong, because the more healthy and strong you are, you can make better decisions in your finances, better decisions in your relationships. You'll know what energies to walk away from. You'll be like, I'm not engaging in that activity. I'm not partaking in that activity. I'm not giving you my energy. I'm not consenting. And so it's really important. Don't leave your health in the hands of anyone else. Like, I learned this when I had to break my illusion that I had around these systems. I'm like, oh, sorry, it didn't work for you. Okay, you'll probably, you're not going to live long. Your body's failing. Nothing we can do. We've tried everything. Sorry, it didn't work for you. That's a hard pill to swallow. Well, sorry, it didn't work for me wasn't an answer I was going to accept. And that's why I am here today. I really believe in integrative, and this whole world has to get integrative. All of us need to come together. All of us. There is a place and a time for your vitamins, your medicines, everything. But you're in charge of your world. So what is happening in your world? What do you have to uncreate? What do you have to uncreate? What molecular structure do you have to uncreate? I'm going to talk a lot about that in Body Regen 3, about, how you're going to move out. Where did you start creating that, and why? And why is it in your organ? And why do you have to uncreate it? It's really important. Yeah. So if you're stuck in something, you're creating it still. And that's what I do each and every day with you guys when you're with me, is make sure that we stay in that space and we keep shifting, we keep growing, and watch, we'll get through this year better than most people will. So it's important. Stock up on some food too. Don't forget. All right. I love you guys. TracyLClark.com. You can find out what I'm up to. You can always email the office, contact at Tracy L Clark. We have a real live people back there, so they can help you answer your emails and shift you as well. They are incredible souls. They do their work every day. They are not somebody just that doesn't know what I do. They live and breathe this work. And you know what? And even my own daughter, I don't know if you know this, but she made all these covers of these books. We integrate. She's a beautiful designer. And you know what? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to live. All right, guys, I love you. And I will see you next week for our final show. Have an incredible week.
Thank you for listening to the Tracy L Clark Show with me, Tracy L, where I teach you how to connect to the God consciousness so you can unlock your superpowers and connect at light speed and live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where together we will unlock the secrets of your body and your life. As the founder of the Body Regeneration Academy, I, Tracy L, will provide you with the insight and simple tools you can apply right now in your life to move you forward and leave the past in the dust. To join the Body Regeneration TLC Online Academy, make sure you check me out at tracylclark.com.